Floley of the light and forest, the sorrow of water and land. Deep within the forest, trees that harbored the light of the spirits of old stood in silence. This was once the place where spirits gathered to protect the woods. Yet now, it was enveloped in a lonely, cold presence. The forest was still suffering, as if the very earth beneath their feet were trembling. The forest had regained its light, flowers bloomed and greenery spread. Yet the water was cold and murky, and the soil was hardened and cracked. The wind had stilled, and a faint mist drifted through the air. The animals, restless and uneasy, moved away from the depths of the woods. Even the birds could not rest their wings and flew away. Floley gazed at the scene and whispered, "The flowers have bloomed. Then why is it so quiet?" The dry soil crumbled slightly beneath his feet. For some reason, only the depths of the forest seemed unusually dark. Noah the rabbit and Serena the canary gently drew close to Floley. "The forest is still carrying its sorrow," Noah said. "There are places so deep that even our voices cannot reach them," Serena whispered. Floley clutched his pendant. "I'm scared to go deeper into the forest. I wonder if I can do this. What is waiting for me ahead? But I can't leave things like this. Let's go deeper into the forest. This time we have to restore the forest." "Hey, over here!" a voice called out from deep within the forest. A small brown squirrel came closer, leaping lightly from branch to branch. "I know a secret path. It's a shortcut." Noah gave a wry smile. "You never change, Knack," Serena whispered softly. "But he's reliable." Floley smiled and said, "Thank you, Knack." Having another companion join them was heartening. As they went deeper into the forest, the branches cast darker shadows, and black vines twisted around the trees. The ground beneath their feet was cracked, and cold, muddy water seeped through it. Tiny sprouts had withered, as if they had given up blooming. The stream had grown murky and had almost stopped flowing. Floley's heart grew heavy. How can we help this forest recover? Noah let out a low growl. The Shadow King is binding this forest. Just then, a faint green light drifted through the air. Silva, the forest spirit who protects the forest's memories, appeared silently. The flowers have bloomed, yet the roots are still cradling their sorrow. The power of the Shadow King has not yet vanished. Floley gave a small nod and said, "I thought dispelling the darkness would save the forest. The surface has recovered, but the roots are still wounded." Silva gathered light in his palm. "The spirit fragment I gave you before has exhausted its power because of your prayers. Yet, the forest remains asleep. Take this new fragment with you. If you hold it to your ear, you will be able to hear the sounds of nature," Silva continued. "But you cannot hear those sounds unless you are in harmony with nature." Harmony with nature? Floley did not fully understand what he meant, but he had no choice but to move forward. The stream was dark and stagnant, with sticky mud choking its flow. The surrounding plants were tangled and trapped by the mud. Noah lowered his eyes. "The animals cannot drink the water," Knack said. "We had no choice but to leave this place in search of water." Serena shook her head sorrowfully. Even my songs cannot reach the water or land here." Floley held the spirit fragment to his ear. He could hear the faint sound of flowing water. At that moment, a pale blue light wavered on the water's surface in a quiet part of the stream, and a translucent spirit appeared. "I am Aquila, the spirit of water." Aquila spoke with a trembling voice. "Once, this water was clear and so beautiful." Floley reached his hand out toward the murky stream, but the water was bitterly cold. He pulled his hand back instinctively. The surface rippled. It was as if the water itself were weeping. "What steals the water's flow is sorrow that has taken another form." Aquila gently touched the murky stream. "Long ago, this water reflected the sky. The dark, stagnant surface rippled. Beneath the surface, the faint presence of weakened fish drifted." With a sorrowful voice, Aquila submerged her trembling fingertips into the water. "But now, no one tries to touch this water." Floley reached out to the cold water once more. The cold seemed to sink deep into his chest, like tears. Deep beneath the murky water, he felt as if a dark shadow had sunk. Suddenly, a breeze gently brushed against his cheek. Floley held the spirit fragment to his ear. Hearing the faint sound of a breeze passing through the woods, a single streak of wind danced across the clearing, and a tall spirit appeared. "I am Arya, the spirit of wind." Arya touched a still leaf as if hesitating. "What disrupts the wind's flow is confusion that has taken another form." He smiled softly. "Once, the fragrance of flowers traveled through the forest, but now the air is heavy. Seeds lie where they have fallen, unable to go anywhere." Arya's voice carried a hint of breathlessness. "The wind has died. The forest is not breathing." The moment Floley listened intently, the blowing breeze suddenly ceased. It was as if the forest had held its breath. Deep within the forest, the trees creaked faintly. Venturing further into the woods, the air suddenly grew warm, and they arrived at a sunlit meadow. As Floley held the spirit fragment to his ear, a spirit with a warm aura, neither clearly male nor female, emerged from the shimmering air. "I am Soleil, the spirit of sunlight." Soleil looked up at the faint beams of light from above. "What clouds the sunlight's brightness is anguish that has taken another form." Soleil looked down at the parched grassland with sorrow. "Sunlight is meant to be warm, yet the dry ground traps the heat, wounding the forest instead." The air grew scorching, and a bead of sweat rolled down Floley's cheek. The sunlight was dazzling, yet for some reason it felt painfully stifling. Though the sunlight shone, the depths of the forest alone looked dark and heavy. Pressing deeper into the forest, they reached a clearing where faint light filtered through the dense trees. Nak said, "This place is called the Garden of the Luminous Tree." In the center of the garden stood an old stone monument, inscribed with a few lines of text. Floley was startled. The words were the very same as the lyrics of a song his mother often sang. The song remained in his heart as a nostalgic memory. Remembering his mother singing, a little warmth spread deep within his chest. The soil in the garden of the luminous tree was hardened and cracked, and rabbits, monkeys, birds, deer, grass, and flowers had hardened. Floley gasped, the words slipping from his lips. "Are they stone?" He felt the depths of his chest grow cold and caught his breath. They had turned to stone as if trying to escape from someone, as though time alone had stopped just as they were calling for help. Knack said sorrowfully, "Long ago, everyone used to move." Serena added painfully, "My voice could not reach them either." The soil surrounding the petrified animals was dry, cracked, and ash-gray. He became keenly aware of the strangeness of the forest. "The Earth's life force is disrupted." Silva appeared silently. "The land has lost its balance under the influence of the Shadow King. What disrupts the land's harmony is lamentation that has taken another form." Silva placed his hand upon the cracked ground. "The earth has always supported the forest." Parched soil crumbled from Silva's fingertips. But when the suffering becomes too profound, the earth closes its heart. The moment Floley took a step forward, the dry, cracked ground crumbled slightly beneath his feet, and he stopped. "We spirits are part of nature itself. We cannot alter the flow of nature on our own." Silva's voice sounded pained. Deep within the forest, a low, rumbling groan resonated. Crossing the valley into the deeper woods, the water flowing from the mountains grew murky, and the stream's flow was choked with mud. The forest grew dim, the land cracked, and cold air spread throughout the area. And then all sound vanished. The sound of the water and the sound of the wind could no longer be heard. Nothing at all. The trees did not sway, and the forest seemed as though it had stopped time itself. Floley gasped. Only the sound of his own breathing seemed unusually loud. This soundless world, unlike stillness, was nothing but terrifying. At that moment, within the soundless forest, only the Shadow King's voice echoed. "This forest no longer needs to move." His voice was endlessly cold. "If it stops, there will be no more pain. If it moves, it will suffer again." Floley's fingertips trembled slightly. He clutched the pendant around his neck with all his might. "Help me!" Along with Knack's trembling voice, his feet began to turn to stone bit by bit. His tail hardened, and a small leaf fell quietly. Floley held the pendant against the spirit fragment. The pendant and the spirit fragment shone, illuminating Knack's feet. But Floley could not stop Knack from turning into stone. Knack turned completely to stone. "Knack!" Floley cried out, but there was no answer. A small leaf fell onto Knack's cheek, which had turned to stone. Noah lowered his ears in fear and would not leave Floley's side. Serena's wings trembled, and she let out a faint, frightened cry. Floley turned pale and gripped the pendant with trembling hands. "No!" The back of his throat trembled, and he couldn't breathe properly. The land cracked into deep black fissures, tree roots turned to stone, and small animals began turning to stone one after another. The look of urgency on Floley's face intensified. "The forest, it's turning to stone. Why are you doing this?" The Shadow King's voice was low, like a rumble of the earth. "The earth accepted everything. A motionless world alone is eternity." Floley held the pendant against the spirit fragment, but the petrification did not stop. Urgency surged through Floley. Why can't I stop it?" The thought that everything might become motionless filled him with fear. Floley stared down at his pendant. "If this continues, these sorrowful days will go on." I have to do something." Just then, the voices of Aquila, the water spirit, Aria, the wind spirit, Soleil, the sunlight spirit, and Silva, the forest spirit, resonated through the garden of the luminous tree. Aquila, listen to the sound of the water. Aria, the wind is only sleeping for now. Soleil, do not forget the warmth of the sunlight. Silva, please listen to the lament of the land. The voices of water, wind, sunlight, and land can once again be in harmony. You need a heart that can hear the voice of the forest. Floley's voice trembled. Can I really do it? Noah, who had not yet turned to stone, said encouragingly, "Only you can do this." Serena continued, "Please help everyone in the forest." Silva spoke with a calm, steady voice. "We spirits alone cannot change the course of nature, but humans are different. A human can bridge the voices of nature. The forest is waiting for you." "I have to do it. I'll save everyone." Floley took a deep breath and clutched his pendant. The pendant glowed faintly, and as if in response, the spirit fragment glowed softly as well. Floley held the pendant against the spirit fragment. Closing his eyes, he listened to the sounds of the forest. In the distance, he could hear the faint murmur of running water and the sigh of the wind. He listened for the voice of the land. From deep beneath the cracked ground, a heavy, pained voice could be heard. Floley placed his hands on the cracked ground and sensed the presence of the land. Deep within the cold soil, the faint pulse of the land trembled. "Why do you awaken me? I only wished to sleep. I don't want to nurture sprouts anymore. I nurtured them, yet they all withered away." Noah tensed. "It is the influence of the Shadow King. We want to sleep. We do not want to suffer anymore." Floley finally understood. The land isn't angry. It is hurting. Floley gently touched the land and spoke softly. "I'm sorry. The forest holds you dear, and so do we." In that exact moment, the pendant and the spirit fragment resonated. It wasn't a bright light. Instead, soft light and gentle sounds overlapped in layer upon layer. Wherever the light touched, the murky water rippled, and the stagnant wind began to stir ever so slightly. Little by little, the sunlight returned, and the parched soil began to soften. Floley wove his words as though to steady the trembling deep within his chest. "Please, smile once more." Instantly, the lullaby his mother used to sing to him before sleep came rushing back to him. "Please, smile once more. I'll connect the voices of the forest." Why did Mother know this song? Floley sang his mother's song of prayer with strength in his voice. He didn't want to lose any more of the gentle forest that held so many memories of his parents. Small cracks appeared in the stone, revealing soft soil beneath. The gentle sunlight bathed the petrified animals, plants, and the lands, spreading warmth across the forest. The shadow's voice faded into the distance. "This is not over yet." The shadow vanished into the deep darkness. As the pendant and the spirit fragment resonated, Knack and the others who had been turned to stone slowly regained their colors and began to move. A voice echoed from the land. "Thank you." The sounds of water and wind blended with the warmth of the sunlight, harmonized with nature, and wove new sounds into the forest. The land, hardened like stone, gradually regained its warmth. The spirit fragment shattered into pieces on Floley's palm and drifted away in the wind. Before they knew it, they were back in the garden of the Luminous Tree. The serene stream, the gentle breeze, and the warm sunlight had all returned. On the restored land, fresh greenery was sprouting. Amid the peaceful silence, a fresh breeze drifted and the sound of the brook echoed gently. Noah hopped and said cheerfully, "You did it, Floley!" Serena fluttered her wings, singing a light-hearted melody. Knack, restored to his true self, climbed onto a branch and waved energetically. Floley looked around at his friends and smiled. On the stone monument in the center, the words of the song his mother used to sing were engraved. Aquila appeared as if floating on the water's surface. "Thank you for listening to our voices." Arya smiled gently. "Your voice sounds somehow nostalgic." Soleil said, "Thank you for listening to the sounds of the forest." Silva added, "The forest has awakened a little, but it has not yet fully recovered." Floley nodded and gazed at the stone monument. Night fell, and Floley and his friends looked up at the starry sky. A particularly bright star twinkled. A gentle breeze drifted through, and the faint presence of the spirits mingled with the wind. Floley took a deep breath, clutched his pendant, and said, "The Shadow King is still deep within the forest. It's scary, but we'll keep moving forward from here." The end. Floley's journey continues. To everyone who enjoyed this picture book, thank you so much for watching until the end. This story is now available on Amazon in both ebook and paperback editions. We hope you will enjoy exploring the world of light and forest as you turn the pages.